The world of classical music celebrates 250th anniversary of the birth of the great composer, Ludwig van Beethoven. On this occasion, Sofia Philharmonic organized two concert cycles entitled The Magic of Beethoven. What is the magic of Beethoven for you personally?
It's a difficult question. And the reason is that Beethoven reaches places inside of you, in your soul, which no other composer reaches. So for me personally, when I do Beethoven, I'm actually a little bit an observer, and I'm amazed how much energy, how much different emotions he creates inside of me. So I would say personally, it's still one of the most difficult composers to conduct because of the extremes of emotions he can give to me. From his music altogether, it is a revolution, we can say. When Beethoven came into the classical music, he basically changed completely our perception of the classical absolute music. He also invented with the Pastoral Symphony something like a tone poem. So he was really making the classical music upside down. In addition, we know his character. A Beethoven character was extreme. He was a very smart person, a big humanistic person, but he felt very understood. We know many conversations where he could not get the reflection in the conversation of the people he was talking to. So you have to imagine a man living in a world where he, for the most part, not only because of the hearing, but also because of his knowledge, his maybe artistic visions, maybe humanistic visions, felt in the society misunderstood. That's a big problem. So many times we talk about Beethoven being a difficult person. Well, maybe he was, as a character, a difficult person. But there were very difficult times too. We have the French Revolution. We have Napoleon. We have Napoleon declaring himself king. Beethoven was so shocked about this. He believed so strongly in the French Revolution, in the spirit of the French Revolution. And I think that altogether we can say that Beethoven was a figure out of time, a timeless human being. And with this and his creations, he remains to be timeless. All his creations in the music world are timeless. They are going with, as we call in German, Zeitgeist. So the interpretations are changing with the times. During Beethoven times, for example, the steam engine was invented for the locomotive, for the train. So 1802, 1803, there was the first trains with the steam engine. So the whole revolution, the Industrial Revolution, took a very fast pace. Beethoven was very interested in that. And in his music, you can sometimes hear how these technical things were starting to have a place in the music. So now imagine what would be if Beethoven lives now, if he composes now. And then we have to look at his pieces. And then when we look at his symphonies, his quartets, his sonatas, how can we make them sound as if he is alive? There is one thing which is very important for Beethoven. He changed for each performance all the time the scores, but not the conductor's scores. He changed the parts of the musicians. So this is a very fascinating thing because he was not just revising the pieces. No, he was interested in that moment to directly reflect what he was feeling or sensing for the music. And this is also my very personal approach to Beethoven, that in this moment with the musicians in the hall, because every concert hall is an instrument too, to make a unique interpretation in his spirit with what we know of his character as an artist and as a human being. So this, for me personally, is the most important to interpret Beethoven.
You will conduct symphony, the Fifth Symphony. That was more about this symphony.
For me personally,
Yes.
this symphony is a revolution symphony. The first movement with these 4 notes is basically for me that somebody wants to break the change, wants to break for something different. Beethoven probably for himself experienced in his life many things. He was not happy, he could not connect. And it's almost like a scream to break out of the prison of his life. So he feels understood. So he feels finally appreciated in the way he wanted to. And scientifically speaking, music scientifically speaking, there are 2 approaches on this first motive. The first approach is that actually Czerny, his student on the piano, said, it's coming from a woody woodpecker in the woods. Beethoven heard tak tak tak. So this is one approach. And the other approach, which basically after the Second World War became very famous, is that is this knocking on destiny's door. Ta 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 ta. So now we have a new time. So for me, basically, I want the audience and the orchestra to feel, to break free from the rules. Independency is the key word for that. So the first movement with these 4 notes for me is to break free to independence. The second movement is for me connected with the first movement, an intimate moment for yourself. It's a very intimate moment where you ask a spiritual, big, overall meaning that there is a beautiful future. It's what you believe for yourself, all the beauty, all the goodness in life. And you ask for it for a higher spirit. So it's not, here is the beauty. For me, it's more intimate, and you ask for it. Is it possible? It would be so beautiful. So in a way also, it is a revolution against what is to find the beauty. And the third movement has another character in the revolution. I loved this approach I heard from Nicolas Harnoncourt once, who said that it should be a little bit like a revolution of the students. What does it mean? The students have the great vision, the great idealism for the future, but it's a little chaotic. They don't know how to do it. And I feel a little bit like this, because it starts from nothing. Nobody talks about it at the beginning. It's very different. And then the horns come in, pa, 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 pam, pa, 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 pam, as if the teachers tell the students, you cannot do that. So in a way, we can almost combine this with Pink Floyd, when we say, another brick in the wall. So it's really like a revolution of the youngish spirit in us humans. And then the last movement, now we know, is a direct connection with the French Revolution, because this da da dee da 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 dee is actually a song or a motive of a song which was used for going to the Bastille during the French Revolution. And when we know that now, when the symphony was played in Paris, everybody exactly knew what Beethoven meant.
The concert is sold out. What do you expect from the audience?
When a concert is sold out, of course we are all very happy. It's for us something beautiful, and we want, all of us on stage, give the audience everything what we have. This is not only energetically speaking, this is also from the music quality speaking. So we want to create the maximum diversity in the sounds. So for us it's just really a wonderful, beautiful opportunity to show all of the repertoire what we have as an orchestra, as a conductor-orchestra connection also. So we don't, I say this to the orchestra, we don't expect anything else than the maximum concentration to be able to take the risk for the maximum quality of music making. This is what we look for.
We do exactly in the evening the same. We watch each other, we listen to each other, you know, we make in the moment the music. Now we have so many new colors and characters, it's fantastic. Just one thing in the first violin, it's not, at least now, it's not enough when you play. It's too long. It should really more energy in the right hand. Yeah? Fight for it, because they play so it's a little too different in the sound. Yeah? Make it really short. Don't use too much bow for this, more character. Yeah? For the rest, I look really forward to have a wonderful, wonderful concert. Yeah? The celebration, it's just